everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be working on an art project while I yap at you. This was inspired by a couple things. The first is that I couldn't decide on like a single topic that I wanted to talk about. I've watched a couple movies and a couple shows recently that I was like, oh, you know, I have a couple things to say, but like not a ton, not enough to make a whole video about. And also, I've just been feeling a little uninspired lately, so I wanted to do something that was fun, that was creative, and I thought maybe you guys could use a little break as well. So today I'm going to be painting a coaster I've painted a few of these already. I got it in a pack of 6. They're just wooden coasters I got. I have this one, have this one, and then we have these two, which are my favorites. They're so cute. And then, last but not least, we have this one. It was supposed to be kind of like a whimsical tree. It's not the best. It's not the first iteration either. This one's gone through a couple iterations. They've all been equally as bad. And so I'm gonna try to fix it. I'm gonna try to paint over and make something nicer while we yap. If you happen to have paint or colored pencils or colored pens or something like that, highly encourage you to grab those and we can work on something together. And if not, I guess just enjoy the ride, enjoy the process. Now, I only have one camera, so you're not going to be able to see me, but you will be able to see what I'm doing here. And I'm gonna try to remember to keep my hands out of the way of the camera. So as you can see, I put down a trash bag on my desk so I didn't get any paint on it and stain it. I also, for my paint, have a piece of parchment paper so that I can mix my paints. I have this little cheap plastic mixer thing. And then I have Amsterdam acrylic paints. Not sponsored, obviously. I have my primary colors, and then I also have a selection of just like random pre-mixed colors for my convenience. To start off, I'm just going to cover this ugly little thing in white so I can start completely over. I was trying to decide what I wanted to change it to because every time I go to paint it, I don't know what I'm going to do, and it always ends up being a mess. I wanted to pre-decide so I wasn't sitting here for 30 minutes trying to think of something. And I decided I actually have 2 ideas. The first was like a little fish tank, like make it look like a fish tank and have little fishies and plants, and I thought that'd be really cute. But I also thought of doing a little Monet painting, kind of like the one that you typically see behind me in videos. It's not really painting behind me, it's actually like clay with little like pieces of confetti type paper, and I made it in art class when I was like, I don't know, 8-10 years old, somewhere around there. It's an interpretation of Monet's lily pads, if you can't tell, and I'm actually very proud of it. Like, making something that cute at that age, impossible. So I think I'm going to do that one. Just another interpretation of it for funsies. Because why not? That's good enough. It's okay if a little bit of color peeks through because we're going to be using some of the same colors anyways. And also I've painted over it 4 times already, so like, what are you really gonna do? I'm gonna start getting my colors around while the white is drying. I'm not 100% sure exactly what colors I want to use, but I know it's gonna be like a light blue and probably a light green. So I'm gonna try to mix some of those. I think there's a pre-mixed color that'll get me pretty close if I add some white to it. But let's get into a couple topics because I have a couple things to chat about. I watched the new How to Train Your Dragon recently, the live action, and that was a bit upsetting to say the least. I wasn't expecting it to necessarily be good because like there's a reason How to Train Your Dragon was animated to begin with. Like, animation is just such a perfect medium for that type of story. And so to take it from there and make it real world is obviously like, well, what are you really gonna add besides, you know, bad CGI? And the CGI wasn't terrible. It was fine. It was fine. It was just somehow a little worse. Like, it was a little better, but it was also a little worse, which is quite impressive in my book, that you managed to do both at the same time. I don't have too much to say that hasn't already been said, because, like, at the end of the day, it was just kind of a copycat film, and the things they did change weren't like that crazy, aside from the fact that they took out the "aren't so fireproof from the inside, are ya" scene, which admittedly was a really important scene, actually, which that's how he got the idea to explode the dragon from the inside in the end fight. And they took that out of this one, which, like, why? What are you doing, bro? That was literally there for a reason. And so he just, like, came up with the idea on the spot to explode the dragon from the inside, I guess. I don't know. That part, like, I know I've seen the movie before, so in theory I know what happens, but, like, from a standpoint of watching that movie as if it's the first time, it doesn't really make sense how he came up with that idea just on the spot. He was been very much, like, a pacifist his entire time with the dragons, and so to all of a sudden be like, I know how to destroy this one, kind of weird, kind of a little from left field, if you will. My only other real complaint about it, besides the acting, which was really bad, it I told my sisters, it felt like I was watching a high school play, like a high school production of How to Train Your Dragon. Like, they rented the rights to How to Train Your Dragon to put on for their little high school, and it didn't end up being one of those rare high school productions that was, like, actually good. It was just kind of sad. Like, everyone felt like they were playing a character, and of course they are playing characters, but, like, when you're an actor, you're not supposed to make me see that you're playing a character. You're just supposed to be that character. So that was kind of upsetting to watch. But my biggest complaint, genuinely, it felt like, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I just wasn't watching closely enough, or maybe I need to go back and watch the original, but it felt like they pushed Toothless out of the movie. Like, I feel like we didn't really see him and Hiccup connecting as much as we did in the original movie. And maybe it really was the exact same, but all of a sudden we got to the end of the movie and Toothless was fighting for Hiccup's honor. And again, I've seen the movie, the original movie, I know what happens, I know why he's doing it, but from just watching that, the remake, I was kind of confused. Like, what has Hiccup done to earn this loyalty at this point? It just felt like they bonded more in the original, and in this one, it felt like Hiccup was, like, using him for free labor. Not even labor, just, like, to ride around. Like, it wasn't like him and Toothless were besties. It was literally like he was a pet. I don't know. Like, let me know your thoughts if you decided to go watch that, because it kind of rubbed me the wrong way a little bit. Not a lot of it, just a little bit. Like, I just felt like something was missing there, which I don't know how we messed that up. I do think they did a decent job at expanding Hiccup's and Stoic's relationship, going deeper into that. I think that was good. I think it was a decent choice to bring up the mother a couple times, since we know she's going to be in the sequel. I think it did make sense in the original not to bring her up, although I know they didn't bring her up because they weren't planning on making a sequel. But it did make sense, in my opinion, not to bring her up, because Stoic just isn't the type of person to be sentimental or bring things up or get emotional. So he probably just wouldn't talk about her. I don't think the fact that he did talk about her hurts his character at all. It was an interesting choice. It wasn't a bad choice. I didn't care that much. But again, I wasn't expecting that much from the movie, especially after I saw the trailers and it was like, oh, like, literally word for word, scene for scene. The actors are literally trying to, like, imitate the cartoon version of themselves, which is an odd choice. But whatever. It made its money. They're continuing the series. It is what it is, I guess. It is a little sad. I hope that people show their kids the original. I know the animation for, especially, like, the very first one is a little ugly, especially if you have, like, a really nice television and it's really high def and you try to watch How to Train Your Dragon. It's really ugly. You really need something that's a little less high def. But that's just with a lot of older cartoons and even video games. They just look a lot better on the original device, which, again, I think maybe is part of why they're doing all these remakes, live action. I still think it's a bad choice. I still don't like them very much. I think Belle was, like, the best, especially from Disney, was, like, the best one they did, because I feel like they actually tried to make it an adaptation rather than just, like, throw characters on the screen and say, well, you know who they are. You're gonna pay to watch this. Like, it really felt like they took their time And I'm not saying it was the best ever, but it is definitely the best out of what they've given us. They've taken all my favorite Disney princess movies and absolutely destroyed them, like ripped them to shreds. Like Aladdin was so bad. Aladdin is absolutely terrible. We got one good song out of it. We got an epic Jasmine, and we just got like the worst Aladdin. Like he is such a loser. And Disney spent so long being like, oh, we're searching for an Aladdin. It's so hard to find someone who can sing and dance and act. Like, first of all, Disney, no, it's not. You're not even trying. I don't know what you're doing, but you're not trying, if that's your report. Second of all, you found the one man who couldn't do any of those things. Not a single one of them. Couldn't act, couldn't dance, couldn't sing. For the love of God, whoever decided to put this, I think, if I remember correctly, action sequences were like in slow motion, but then they sped it up to be regular motion. So then it looked really stupid. Like, absolute trash. And I don't know whose idea that was, but they needed to be fired on the spot, because what are we doing, guys? Realistically, what are we even doing? Who thought that would look good? There's a reason we don't do that ever. But like, it's the same thing with Ariel, where like I feel like they really didn't try with the actual story. I feel like they could have really expanded almost everyone's arcs, everyone's character, and instead we got like the abridged version where they were basically like, well, you know the story, you know who these characters are, you know what's gonna happen. So like they did the bare minimum and showed the bare minimum of what was gonna happen, and we didn't really get introduced to any of the characters. We didn't really get to learn about any of the characters. We got to learn a little bit more about Prince Eric, but like I'm pretty sure like the musical, I think there's a Broadway musical version, and the Broadway musical version does just as much, if not more, to give Eric character. So this movie didn't really like make any bold moves. They just kind of redid what was already done. And poor Alan Menken had to redo this musical for like the third or fourth time. I was tired of it. He wrote the musical. He did a great job, and he perfected it the second time around, and now he's having to do it again. Let the man retire. Actually, don't let the man retire, but let him get away from Disney at the very least. Okay, so the colors are showing up a little weird on camera, a lot darker than they are. And you can't really see a lot of the details. But that's our start. Kind of like the bottom base. So I'm gonna let that dry for a second, and then I'm gonna add some lily pads and I don't know, sun reflections or something. I don't know. We'll see. I cannot wait for this trend of like reboots and sequels to be over, because I'm so over it. I just want some good original genuine films that like have imagination and have heart and have something behind them besides we want money, we want money, we want money, we want money, because it's getting so old. And like they would make money if they could make something original and good again. Like K-pop Demon Hunters, people love that, and it's because it was original and it was good. And like Disney just can't wrap their mind around it. Sony is out here killing the game, slaying, putting out these crazy original works, and they're doing so well. Although in Disney's defense, they are making like a gazillion dollars for all of these movies, even though they're like so bad. I genuinely don't understand why people watch them. Like, what was Moana 2? What was that? That was awful. I mean, I guess it had to be awful. Like, Disney princess sequels are like always awful. They have to be. The only quote unquote good one is Cinderella 3, and that's just because it was unhinged. It was like, who came up with it? Who approved it? And there's no way it made it to production. It's my favorite one. It's awesome, but it's also terrible. And why did we make that? Whose idea was this? I wish we had more like that. More sequels like that. Moana was so bad. Frozen 2 wasn't good. It wasn't terrible. It wasn't good. It was very upsetting to watch, because like we kind of solved all the issues and then we just rehatched the same issues in the second movie. Like, come on, guys. And genuinely, like, Kristoff was barely a character, Anna was barely a character. And what was the point of all this? Why is Elsa the Avatar? Why is Elsa queen of all the elements? genuinely, I don't think she would even like that. She wanted to make her parents proud. Does she think making her parents proud is going gallivanting through the woods with a bunch of elemental spirits and abandoning her people? Like, what are we talking about? I just don't understand where this sudden motivation to like be quote unquote free from like responsibility, I guess, comes from. Like, you can be tempted, but at the end of the day, what kind of lesson is that to kids? And then poor Anna's just thrown into this role. She was never trained to be a queen. She was never trained to be queen. How is she gonna do this? She can't even go to her sister for help because her sister is somewhere in the woods. We don't even know where she is. I do love the fact, I love the commitment from Disney and the creators though, because they have like, I think, okay, I keep exaggerating the number because it's funny, but I'm pretty sure they have at least Frozen 5 written. Like they have up to Frozen 5 written currently and they're just waiting to produce them. Which is crazy that they're like, yeah, we're gonna just keep this going. It's never ending. You guys are never getting out of this house. But I appreciate the commitment. Do I think that Frozen 3 is gonna be any good? Probably not. Do I think Frozen 4 is gonna be any good? Probably not. Do I think Frozen 5 is gonna be any good? Again, probably not. But like, I mean, I guess you never know. Why is it turning my paint black? So weird. Camera, don't do that. Honestly, the only sequel I'm excited about seeing, actually there's a couple, well, interested would be more correct. I'm interested in seeing the K-pop Demon Hunter sequel. I'm not sure how they're going to be able to top that. And I'm also interested in seeing like Jumanji 4 or whatever it is. Not because I think it's going to be good. I think the second one was kind of disappointing. Because I know some people liked it. I personally was like, wow, this sucks. But I really enjoyed the first one when I first saw it. So, and they finally started filming for Jumanji 4 as soon as I gave up on them. I literally gave up. I said, well, The Rock's doing random stuff that no one cares about, and Erin Gillen looks like she's living her best life, and Nick Jonas is off like low-key scamming people again. Selling concert tickets and then canceling the tour and then never refunding people, and he's making movies with his brothers, and Jack Black is like always busy doing random projects. So I was like, whatever, Jumanji 4 is never gonna happen, and then it's happening. So who's the silly goose, I guess? I don't really know what I'm doing with this white paint. I just thought it would add a little dimension, but I think I'm adding too much dimension. I think it looks bad now. But that happens sometimes. Sometimes you gotta make it look bad before you can make it look good. And that's just life. That's how life works. Actually, you know what? That is how life works. At least like when it comes to creative projects, like one of the hardest things I struggle with is writing, because I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to my writing, and I know that it's not going to be good the first time I write it, and so that stops me so often because I'm like, oh, well, I mean, just like, I want to wait till I know exactly what I want to say so that I can do it right the first time. And that's just not how anything works. So then I just get stuck staring at a blank page, and it's like, no, you have to write it so that you can make it better next time around. And you know what? It always works. When I write it, sometimes I write it bad, sometimes I write it good. But even when I write it good, I write it better the second time when I come back and like fix it up. So I'm just gonna come back and fix this up, and it's gonna look so cute. I'll finally have all 6 of my stupid little coasters. I won't have one that's just like the black sheep and shame of the family hiding in a cupboard and no guests see it ever. Honestly, I'm genuinely kind of surprised at how well all of them turned out. I really did just start painting them on a whim. Like, I'm not that great at painting, I don't think. I made a couple things that are cute, but like, I don't really paint that often. So I'm always a bit like hesitant. But I think they came out really well. It looks way darker on camera than it does in real life. So we're gonna have to live with that. But it looks cute. Okay, so on my little rendition, I have orange and yellow flowers and red flowers and green flowers. I actually don't have any pink or purple flowers. Well, I don't want green flowers, but I don't want red. I'll do orange flowers and maybe yellow flowers as a little homage to myself, I guess. Although all I have is like this really neon orange, so I don't think that's what I want. So I'm gonna have to make my own orange, which is fine. Although I didn't give myself much space to make orange. Oop, that's way too much paint. It's okay. We live and we, oh, that might be too much yellow. Oh, great. Oh, great. We didn't live or learn. Oh, great. It wasn't enough. It wasn't enough yellow. It was too much red, not enough yellow. Oh, God. It's probably too much yellow now. Oh, God. Maybe not. You know what? Don't judge a book until it's covered. That's what they always say. Actually, you know what? Can we talk about how bad that, like, idiom is? Don't judge a book by its cover. Because covers are literally designed for books. So if it has a bad cover, whoever designed it did a bad job at representing the book. So that's literally their own fault. Whoever printed that book, that's their fault. And like, especially in today's day and age when it's all about making money, it's not about literature, it's about making money. You can't afford to have a bad cover. That's literally what you're meant to judge a book by. And I get it's like, oh, well, it's not about what's on the outside, it's about what's on the inside. And you know what? That's fine for people, but for books, it's actually not what it's about, because how am I supposed to guess what's on the inside if you have a terrible outside? That's just not how marketing works. Realistically, that's not how this works. So it's time to grow up and join the real world. Okay, this orange is a little too yellow, but I didn't like it red, so if I do like 3 orange, like kind of a lot, but I made so much paint. Also, those little spots in the paint, that's not because I mixed it poorly, that's just because my camera's being weird. So it doesn't like yellow, I guess. But yeah, look at how cute that is. Oh my goodness. And then what else? Oh, it's gonna add a little yellow. We'll just go straight like regular yellow. Oh my god, wait, it's kind of cute. It's kind of cute. It's kind of coming together, guys. So there's this brand new show on Amazon called 56 Days, and it has Dove Cameron and just forgot his name. He was on just forgot that's name. He was on, it wasn't called Victoria. It wasn't called Victory. Victorious. He was on Victorious. He was I don't even remember his character's name. I don't know. He was Jade's boyfriend. That's who he was. I can't remember anything about him now. But they were the 2 main characters, and it's like supposed to be this mystery, like, oh, someone's dead, and one of these people killed each other, and they were in love, and they were obsessed, but they were both flawed and had reasons to dislike each other. Ooh. And so I watched the trailer, and I was like, oh, you know what? This actually looks pretty interesting. Like, I like a murder mystery, so I'll watch it. And then I started watching it, and I remembered that I actually don't like murder mysteries, and I don't care. But I wanted to know what happened because I wanted to prove myself right. Because as soon as I watched the trailer, I was like, okay, if you don't want spoilers, maybe don't listen to this part. But it was like, oh, did she kill him or did he kill her? And I watched the trailer, and I was like, I decided right then and there that neither of them are dead, because he couldn't kill her. He couldn't kill her because a man abusing his partner is just like an everyday thing. And it's a devastating everyday thing. And there's no way we're gonna have this whole like mystery story and it ends in him abusing his partner and killing her. So they're not gonna do that because that's distasteful on so many levels. But we're not gonna have her killing him because that would be too cliche at that point, because that's the only other option. So instead, the writers are going to try to be clever, and they're going to be like, oh, well, neither of them died. Instead, going to have a third person involved, and that person's going to die. They're going to, like, Bonnie and Clyde him. I don't think Bonnie and Clyde ever, like, tag team murdering someone, but, like, you know, kind of vibes I'm getting. The show was only 8 episodes long, but it was, like, basically, like, 4 episodes, nothing happened. Like, small things happened, but nothing that warranted, like, the full episodes. But, like, whatever. I wasn't a huge fan of the ending. The ending was kind of like, basically, the killer got away with it, right? Basically, no one got in trouble for anything they did during the entire show. And the moral was just like, oh, well, I mean, they're, like, good people, so they can get away with crimes. And I was like, that's just so weird. That's such a weird moral. Like, why did I watch this show? You had me for a second, and then you just like dropped me on my head. Oh my god. Do we like the little accents of color The purple one's kind of hideous. Okay, it's too purple. We need to get rid of some of the purple. We need to like dot it out. Okay, for you guys, it looks like it's exactly back where it was. You can't tell there's an accent there anymore, and that's fine. Sometimes you can't tell that there's accents.
And that's life.
So yeah, I mean, it was a fine show. Like, I wouldn't recommend it, but I wouldn't not recommend it. Like, I'm definitely never gonna watch it again. But it was fine. It was entertaining enough, I guess. I'm gonna try to make a bridge. I think there was a bridge in the original painting. Either that or it was a different painting that had a bridge. But I'm gonna try to add a bridge. And this might be a detriment to everyone and everything I've ever known. But it might not. It might be like the best decision ever. And I don't like the color brown I just made. Way too light. Way too light. So we're just gonna make it darker again. Also, I think it's like not red enough. I think we need a little more red in it. So now that I've mixed this paint, I've decided it's too red. So we're gonna have to add some yellow. And that was a lot of yellow. This might be a vicious cycle. And now this looks like baby puke. It literally looks like baby throw up. No, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. I'm gonna add some purple. If you're curious why I'm adding purple, it's because purple is the antithesis of yellow, and so it's going to darken it up. When you want to make a color darker when you're painting, you add the antithesis of the color. You don't add black to it, you add whatever color is the opposite. So like if you look on the color wheel, purple is opposite to yellow, so it's gonna make this brown darker. Brownish is yellow, by the way, if you didn't know. That's why we add the purple, because brownish is yellow. It's a really dark yellow. It's yellow with a lot of purple in it. And there we go. I actually quite like that brown. So we fixed it. Yay! All right, I'm gonna try to quickly add a little bridge. Okay, but you know what else is coming out this year? The Avatar movie, the Avatar: The Last Airbender movie. And I'm very torn because like I want it to be really good, but like also what hope do I have and what hope should I have? But yeah, I'm kind of excited for it. I'm kind of nervous for it because like the original creators are part of it, but they were also a part of the live action for a while. Admittedly, they left, but they were part of that for a while. And we all know who that turned out. Not great. Kind of like this bridge, I think. I'm gonna commit for a minute. Because maybe it turns out really well. But maybe it doesn't. Like, do we see what the vision could have been? Okay, I know what I wanted to do. Like me trying to build a house in Minecraft, bro. It's so bad. I can't do it. Okay, whatever. It's fine. We know how to fix this. It's a super easy fix. We just make it go away. Maybe it's like the reflection of a bridge, right? So it's not like a painting of the actual bridge, just the reflection of a bridge that's over yonder, or like the reflection of a boat. Okay, so that didn't work, and that's okay. We live and we learn, and we try again. And then I think we're good. I think it's a day. Not a perfect day, but a day. I don't think I want to add lily pads up there, do I? Because like my lily pads are at an angle, so then I think it would be weird if I just like had them all the way up. But then why is the water so high? You have to ask yourself that question. Why is the water so high if lily pads are not? The answer that I'm gonna make a sun. I'm gonna make a little, like the reflection of the sun. It genuinely just looks like toxic waste is getting dumped into the pot. This is actually a political piece about How toxic waste data centers are ruining our water. Now it just looks like an algae bloom. Oh god. Another thing that's ruining the water. This is why it was gonna be a bridge up here. Okay, maybe I just add more lily pads and call it a day. Maybe that's the play. Maybe the play is give up on your dreams. Give up on your dreams, add a little more purple. Be unhappy with the purple, cover the purple up. At least now the waste, the toxic waste, is purple. Okay, low key fixed it, high key didn't. I'm in love. I'm in love. Okay, I know I said I wasn't gonna add red, but I'm totally gonna add red. Just to those last two. And then I'm done. And guys, I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of ugly. It's kind of ugly and I kind of hate it. And it's probably gonna get painted over again. Maybe I will do the fish tank. But I'm just gonna end it here because I'm not gonna repaint it today, right now. All right, so ignore the black spots on the yellow, but this is it. Again, just for review, we have this, right? This. There's this one. There's these two. If you can't tell, are my favorites. They're so cute. There's this. So, yeah, that's the video for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know this was a lot casual yapping. It wasn't very structured, so if you guys did like this type of video, go ahead and give me a like and leave a comment to let me know you like this type of video. I don't really plan on doing any more like this, so if you did like it, let me know and I will plan to do another one. And if not, then tell your dog about it or something. I don't know. If you guys have stuck with the video this long, I'd appreciate it if you click the subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the end of the year. So if you'd like to follow me on the journey, I would be really grateful. Until next time, bye lovelies. You can pop up. Okay, you can leave.